So first off, if it wasn't for just how little we know about it, I would be 100% making this video about Professor Layton right now. But I think I'm going to move that to next week. I'm honestly equally excited for that game, and the fact that I was completely blindsided by it in the direct was amazing, to the point that I missed quite a lot of the Tears of the Kingdom trailer. But now on to the big stuff. What is going on with Tears of the Kingdom? In my last video, I was utterly convinced that we'd get a story or summary trailer for the game, but they're just adamant about revealing anything too important. And I really admire them for that. But in true analyst fashion, I want to use this, hopefully shorter video, to point out a couple of things that you might have missed in the new Tears of the Kingdom trailer, and some stuff you definitely didn't. Link has a car. There's no other real way to say this. You can literally build a car in this game, and a drone, and a hot air balloon. I know, right? The developers likely saw all the insane stuff people made with octoballoons, minecarts, and rafts, and actually implemented this part into the game now, which is really making the overworld and sky a completely open area to explore. But let's hang on this car for just a second. These Zonai dragon heads can't just be for show, so what's the purpose of them? It can't just be to look nice, because this wooden shed on wheels definitely isn't winning any beauty points here either. So let's look at something else. Like maybe the second Tears of the Kingdom trailer, the T3 2021, where Link is using a shield with a dragon head attached to it, that's breathing fire all over some weird plant creature. So you heard it here first. It seems as though gathering these Zonai vehicle parts isn't just restricted to making a car. You may also be able to add these flamethrower attachments to specific weapons too. I'm sure there'll be all kinds of limitations, but perhaps they're unlocked by beating the Zonai Golem boss things, given that some of Link's new equipment has symbols that match the ones that we've seen in previous trailers, meaning that more of these bosses you face, you'll be granted access to more Zonai parts for all kinds of uses. Maybe the big bird-like contraption we saw in the 2022 trailer for the game is something that can be put onto other vehicles too, but in the trailer it's just being used in its basic form to glide farther without using up Link's stamina. Another thing that's quite interesting is, where's Zelda? In my last video I stayed as quiet as I could about Zelda, as I was still completely unsure about if my ideas for a role in the game were verging on speculative, but I'm now becoming even more and more certain that she will be playable. My main evidence for this hinges on how prominent she is in the game's marketing, yet how cleverly she's edited out of every scene in the trailers, outside of the opening cutscene where she falls into some deep abyss underground. Her hair is now shorter, Patricia Somerset appears to be reprising her role as a voice actor, and the promo key art shows her with a lit torch in hand and carrying what seems to be a modified version of the Sheikah Slate, which looks as though it's been modded by Puro and Robbie to look like a Switch now. My point in the last video about the underground areas of Tears of the Kingdom seems to have been confirmed in the most recent trailer, but it's interesting to see that a few scenes of the underground don't contain Link. In one scene, we've got Bokoblins and Lizalfos working in mines, along with big sprawling enemy camps that look as though they can be traversed with stealth, or some clever use of the Sheikah runes. And while the skies and surface of Tears of the Kingdom seem to be embracing the new freeform and sandbox elements of Breath of the Wild, these underground areas remind me more of traditional Zelda dungeons or overworld areas in past Zelda games, all acting like an obstacle to progression rather than something just sitting around, something that requires a bit more thinking and wisdom to traverse. And that's where I think Zelda's role in this game is. I think that the player can press a button on the map screen, maybe even click the stick and take control of Zelda, trapped deep underground with only the Sheikah Slate as a means of combat, similar to how she could be used in Age of Calamity. The actions she takes underground may have effects above ground too, or even in the sky to assist Link, so there may be times where you have to use the two characters in conjunction. While Link's adventures will still have aspects of combat and puzzle solving, I think that the underground Zelda sections will put her intelligence to the test, and require a lot more creative restrictive solutions like a traditional Zelda game. Breath of the Wild's biggest benefit was its freedom, but that also acted as a hindrance to many aspects of it too, and I feel like this underground world is how the game will make the most of these two formats. So in Breath of the Wild, the moon acted as a very clever way to disguise the game's need to reload its memory, along with ironing out any bugs in the game too. But what if the Blood Moon has some additional functionality in this game? All the shots of the invasion of Hyrule, the malice-infested enemies, and the insane stuff like the Gleeok guarding the bridge of Hylia take place at night, and are preceded by malice raining down from Hyrule Castle. Yet in the daytime, and outside of these scenes, things seem a little bit different. The bridge is empty in some scenes, and the world isn't crawling with monsters everywhere. I'm wondering if the Blood Moons in this game trigger an extended event, maybe for around the night of in-game time, where all of Ganon's minions become stronger, more aggressive, and swarm the land, emboldened and strengthened by the Blood Moon. Think of Bowser's Fury, where it's on a cycle of every 5 or 6 in-game days. The Blood Moon invasion begins, and Link is then able to pass time during it. Or maybe there's certain benefits that can only be gained during these sequences, like how in Breath of the Wild, cooking under a Blood Moon could strengthen a recipe. This would definitely bring a new meaning to Blood Moons, as well as their practical need for the game to reload itself, and the increased focus on Blood Moon in this trailer makes me think that there's going to be a greater role for it in this game. So other than the confirmation of the underground and the pieces of the Zonai Kingdom falling in real time, there's not much else I can say about Tears of the Kingdom for now. I'm excited to see what the future has in store, and I think the marketing machine will be kicking into gear in the next few months. So stay tuned for more videos about it. Thank you so much for the support on the last video, and feel free to leave a like or a comment on this one to help the channel out. Oh, and stay tuned for the latent video soon.